Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Just a quick jump in over the weekend. For those of you who have been watching my Twitter feed, or those of us in the private Algo Factory Lab, you would see that we are, at least I am, in the middle of a trade. It's a nice trade on Solana. It broke 100. And of course, the pattern that I drew, and of course, those of you who are in the Algo Factory understand what I was drawing with that triangle and all that. But the breakout was imminent, and the algos did say that it would probably break out. So I took the risk on the breakout, even below this little bit of structure right there, because the algos said okay. And of course, here we are. I am about 80% to the target. Technically, I could have taken profit as per my rules, but because Solana just broke 100, we are looking at a pretty decent chance of, just a little bit of FOMO. I mean, everybody's looking at that 100. It's above 101. There's always that chance that the market makers take advantage of the FOMO to fill their shorts and crush it down. But I just don't see that happening right now with the way that Bitcoin is in the market. So, that is how that is. Looks like we got Cool Cat watching. What's up, bro? Good to have you in. So let's see what else. See if we got people watching on Twitter. I usually don't go live at this time, so there's a decent chance that nobody's like even knows that I'm live. So I don't know who's watching and who's not, and I really don't care. This one is going to be, of course, available on Twitter and YouTube for replay. So I'm just kind of hanging out, and I'm going to see if it moves forward. And if you are watching out there live, feel free to ask some questions, any of that kind of thing. If we do get into like trades like this in the future, I may go ahead and hop on and, have some people come in and chat should they want to do so. But right now, just watching the money roll in, this is beautiful. Yeah, I'm well above 2-1 on this. So this is right at the very moment, I'm right about 2-1. Risk to reward. So basically risking, let's just pretend I put $100 in the trade, then I would be basically $200 in profit right now. So the most I would have lost is 100. And the most in that scenario, the most I would make is 228, right? So, but I do have a pretty decent confidence that this will end up popping up. So I do see people are watching. So if you are watching, feel free to leave a comment, whether that is, over in YouTube, please comment. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, do all that stuff. It helps us out. And you can always comment later in the comment box. Now, here we are. Look at this, getting real close to the target. Real close. There it is. Bada boom. That's a one trade right there. So, let's just pretend for a moment that you were over at Algo Factory. You saw this go down and price, you saw this trade happen before it actually happened, right? You saw me making the plan, said I was going to do this, and price actually went a little bit deeper than when I entered. So those who are watching would have actually observed me potentially get a better entry than I did, right? And if you know kind of what's happening with what I'm doing, then of course you can always go do your own research. And if your research looks like mine, well, hey, you might even take a trade that looks like mine. And so everybody who is in the private group got to see that ahead of time, of course. And if they were trading at that time, that's something they could have done. So that's a beautiful trade right there, right, for everybody to watch. So really, thank you all for coming. And like I said, I'll leave it open if you have any questions. We have a few people watching. And if you don't have any questions, then hey, we'll just catch up to you next time. Put on some music to let's see here. Let me find some chill music here. Hold on. Where's my, oh, there it is. Chill. I'm gonna go with lo-fi. I'll just go with chill, whatever. Yeah, I love it, man. Look at that. Just FOMO, and now we're up at 103 with Solana, so it just keeps rolling. There it goes. Yeah. So, but yeah, we do this all the time, over at Algo Factory. If I see a trade, especially like during the live show, because I usually do the live show, I designed it to be around the market open when a lot of liquidity kind of comes into the market, the New York Open. So if you're watching, a lot of times you'll see me actually enter a trade. And when I enter a trade, it usually means I've been looking for that trade for some time, like, maybe a few hours, at least several minutes. I'll say, hey, I think this is going to break out. I think this is going to go. And then as you all saw on Twitter and of course in the private room, You say, hey, I see this happening. This very well could happen. And then I design a trade. And this one went pretty quick. This one popped up so quickly I wasn't able to really put the trade itself on, but anybody in the private room who knows what I'm doing knows what was going on. They knew how to do what I was doing. Now, of course, this could really FOMO up pretty high, right? Everybody's watching Solana right now. A lot of money's going into Solana because of the meme coin market. So basically, you got people who are playing the meme coins, the little new coins. Solana is basically like a protocol, kind of like Ethereum. So a lot of meme coins were created using Ethereum, and now people are starting to use Solana to create them, and a lot of people are headed in that direction. I believe Solana transactions are much more cheap, much less expensive, much more quick than Ethereum, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, definitely more quick. I don't know about the fees, but because I haven't messed around with Solana at all, like in that sense. I just know that people are really, really happy with the protocol and with its performance. So, and I'm happy with the performance of this trade. So there's not really any like resistance to speak of up until about 109, and that's very old. So I could go ahead and zoom out just to show you where that resistance exists on the timeline, so that you can understand, kind of how far back I had to go to find, where price might get stuck. So now if I do see a pullback on this, like here, look at this. This is going back to April of 22, where I saw that peak right there, and then up to right here, 143. That's like a much stronger resistance. If we really see some upward movement in Solana, it might knock its head on 143. Now, I'm not sure that we're going to see, I'm not sure that we're really going to see like a whole lot, a movement up that high. I think that the crypto market may or may not run into some trouble here. Not trouble, but just, a natural retracement based on where it is in the timeline. I do think there is pain coming, but, I have thought there was pain coming for a while, and the algos keep telling me that it's not coming. So I have been obeying the algos despite what I think is coming. Now, what I think is coming can be reinforced by the algos if and when that does come. So, there's always that, like I said, that thesis that crypto is going to take a break from its rise. And that thesis is predicated on the prior 4-year cycles, right? The halving cycle and a few other things. There's some other data coming through. But until the algos actually tell me that I can go short, I do not go short, especially with crypto. Crypto is known for punishing the shorts, right? For people who think the price is going to go down, crypto is known for knocking them out big time. So we'll take a quick look right now, just while we're here. I'm going to take a look at I'm going to remove all this stuff here. We're going to take a look at the liquidity profile for this. I'm going to go to the kingfisher.io, and I am going to see if I can grab a free credit here. And we're going to spin it to win it. And then, of course, we're going to look at the Solana liquidity profile over on Binance, I think. That's where I'll look. Now, I'm not paid by the Kingfisher. I just think it's a really, really good, a really good platform. And what you can do is, what you'll see here is I will type in SOL. Next, I need Binance or someone else. Solana, I'm going to get a liquidity map for all leverage, and we're going to see where the leveraged traders have all their trades, because so much action is on Binance right now. I'm on Solana right now. And where the leveraged traders have their stop outs, their liquidations, that's a decent probability of where price may go next. However, the rule is the charts have to favor a move in that direction for that to occur. And there's a big block right about 73 to say 76. Right now, there's a lot of liquidity at 73 to 76. And these are people who have gone long, and I don't think price is going to head there anytime soon. But what will happen is eventually, right? Let me put a block right in that area just so we can visualize it. So 73 to 76. Okay. What's this music? I don't know if I like this music. That's all right. It's just super quiet. See if I need to turn my volume up. That might be the issue. All right, whatever. We got this chill music, whatever it is. I don't know about it, but we'll keep it on. All right, so look, if the charts favor a move down, then it's going to go to liquidity areas like this, right? Like where you see that. And that makes sense that there would be liquidity there because there was a lot of price action that occurred in this area. With Solana being what it is, I would not be surprised that we would see price kind of get there because of, say, like a crypto dump in general, or even a traditional finance dump. Like if TradFi dumps, if say something happens in the market and stocks and everything dump, then crypto will dump too. And so I think most, if not all, crypto will do so. You might have the odd coin that defies the gravity, but for the most part, that's not a good bet in my opinion. Man, I gotta change this music though. Hold on a minute. That was terrible. Chill hop. There it is. Found it. All right. So anyway, now that I can think, not that the other music was terrible, but just not my vibe. All right. Let's see if we got any comments here. We got a few people watching. Yeah, and as I put up there earlier, CoolCat did confirm that Solana is faster and cheaper. So, it's an Ethereum killer in a sense, but what we have to do is make sure that we understand Ethereum itself actually has the blessing of some very important people, and it's a first mover advantage. And so many important coins are built on Ethereum, and Ethereum also has a lot of layer 2 solutions. I don't even know if ZK rollups are done, but they're at least in the works, if not complete. So, Ethereum can compete. But right now, Solana is the one grabbing all the attention. And look, I called Solana back when it was like around $10. I told everybody, when was that, a year and a half ago or something? And earlier this year, certainly, I said, look, FTX is built on Solana, right? And FTX is FTX. Solana is Solana, two different things. And I compared it to the whole, what do you call it? The MT Gox thing. So for those of you who don't know crypto history, back in I think 2014, around about that time, MT Gox was Magic the Gathering online exchange, and people used Bitcoin to basically they would trade Magic the Gathering cards. Right now, I was in high school and that was popular and it had just come out. And I was always like, what is that? But I was afraid of being a nerd. So I wouldn't play that. And now I'm thinking I made a mistake. Seriously. I could be totally rich, because if I really kept playing that, I would have, back when Bitcoin was $1 or less, I would have used that to probably buy those cards. And people who played that game are completely grossly rich now if they held onto their Bitcoin and if they didn't lose their wallets. Now, we have a request from CoolCat, my man, asking for Solana ETH chart. Okay, so by the way, people on Twitter and YouTube, if you go onto YouTube, you can actually ask me for chart requests while I'm up. So, if you are on Twitter watching, it's harder for me to see messages over there. But if you head over to YouTube, you can, our Algo Factory YouTube is pretty easy to find. I'll just, and just put a request and ask for whatever chart you want. And as long as we're live, I will do them for you. So we got Solano. Now, what Ethereum. What CoolCat's asking for is a comparison of Solana to Ethereum. So what you're looking at is Solana in terms of Ethereum. And that matters because you're actually seeing Solana outperform Ethereum live on a chart. Now, if you look at all that gobbledygook on the bottom of the screen right there, that's my algo all parsed out. So, it's not combined into one indicator at this point. Some of them are, some of them are not. There's a lot of testing going on. But this is Solana versus Ethereum. Now, I don't think a lot of people are trading this pair, so I'm not really a big fan of trying to trade it or chart it in that sense. But it's a really good way to see how Solana is outperforming Ethereum. And a lot of times these charts actually can act a little bit more naturally because they're not quite as manipulated, or let's just say that Solana and Ethereum are manipulated in the same way, right? You get it? They're both manipulated to the same degree, or at least in a similar way. So the manipulation is congruent, and therefore these charts would actually be able to flow a little bit more naturally. Let me go ahead and zoom out, take a look at Solana Ethereum history. I would beware of using Solana Ethereum history too much because there has been big changes in the landscape. But there's not really a lot to see. You have some resistances, if you will. if you want to call it that. I don't think anybody's paying much attention to these, so I don't think they will act like resistances, but because these two are predicated on the same market, they may end up kind of acting that way. So if you're watching the Solana Ethereum chart, I mean, I can tell you that it's nothing but bullish, algorithmically bullish. Just to like look at the algos, it's just saying up, up, up. I don't see anything saying that it's slowing down. So that's that. I mean, when things FOMO, indicators, they just don't really matter as much. Like, I mean, the indicators go, it's FOMOing. Like, there's not really a lot to be said other than number go up. So at that point, us over in Algo Factory have a particular method to trade FOMO. Believe it or not, there is a way to do it. And I can tell you what tool we're using, but I'm not going to do that. You got to be part of Algo Factory, www.algofactory.tech. Bada boom. You see it in the bottom of the screen there. But in the meantime, yeah, I'd say looking at 0.05 to 0.058. I think it's just going to keep heading up. You might see like a stop off if things slow down. But right now, Solana being over 100 USD or USDT, like I think it's just going to FOMO, and I think this chart will FOMO along with it. So, all right, let's see what we got. We got a few people, actually more people watching on Twitter now. I'm just going to jump over to Twitter, see if there are any messages. I just see likes and stuff like that, so that's good. Perfect. So in that case, if you're on Twitter, you can DM me. I don't know if I'll see it. Again, I would head over to the YouTubes if you want to ask questions, and I'll be happy to chart whatever. I'll chart Bitcoin. I'll chart my feet if it makes you happy. Of course, I don't want to show pictures of my feet because there's like people out there that like feet pictures, and that's really weird. But if that's the case, though, let me roll back. We'll take a look at some other cryptos. I actually have my eye on Matic, so Polygon basically, and I like it because it is that Ethereum layer 2, and Ethereum's been lagging, right? So compared to a lot of the market, Ethereum's been lagging. So let me jump off the weekly chart and let's take a look just at the algos. Matic bullish, like a lot of things are. Looks like Matic might be kind of winding up for something. Let's see. I mean, Matic does have like some serious resistance with which it must contend. So if it can break like 88, and then this is a lot right here to crest is 90, and then anywhere from say like 94, 93 to 94, 93 and a half, like that area right there, that's going to be tough. So if I were trading Matic, and I really kind of thought this was going to continue, and it might, I'm not going to do this right now, but I would consider something like this, and maybe taking profit before these areas, right? I would definitely have a stop that is relatively deep. If it started to kind of pull up a little bit harder though, like I would tighten up stops. Or if there was a pullback, I would use that structure, right? Like on this higher kind of like swing time frame. If there was a pullback on Matic like this, I might consider actually going long like that. And this would be a pretty, like, not my typical trade. I like to be in and out within like a few hours. But, if I were just wanting to throw some swing trades on, like, maybe keep a trade on for a few weeks, whatever, do some spot stuff, this might be what the trade looks like, something like that. I'd have to see it at the time, definitely have to see it at the time. But all right, so again, if you have requests, please drop them in the YouTube comments. And if you're on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe. We do this shit all the time, right? I'm on here like every day. So except for usually Saturdays and Sundays, I'm not on, but I think I'm going to change that to stuff like this happens. I find like a really good trade on a Saturday, I'll probably pop on. Not as I'm doing it, I'll probably kind of mostly keep those for the private group who are watching over the weekend over Telegram and our private Telegram. But I will hop on while it is still useful for people to see. We start doing that. So Matic is one thing. Ethereum, there are a lot of rumors out there that Ethereum is actually gearing up, and it looks very much like Matic. So I would apply the same kind of logic. Here's an Ethereum breakout trade I actually did for my group this week. I think it was like on Tuesday. So for anybody in the group, this is a beautiful trade right here. I'm going to go ahead and actually snapshot this. And, for those who are in the Telegram, you can actually confirm that this trade is legit and that I did it just like a few days ago. Now, I wasn't as excited about this trade beyond this point where this resistance was, but it appears that it actually wants to continue up, and it could. It just means that, it's got to be a wider pull up. And we'll take a look. Let's see, took this. Go ahead and type some things to Twitter. All right, give me 1 second. And again, while I'm doing this, go ahead and put your request up on YouTube. Go to Algo Factory YouTube, put up your request in there. I'll do some charts, if you're a crypto trader or not. Like, what if you're gold? I'm happy to do gold. Totally cool with like stocks, whatever. I will do the charts. We don't do investment advice though. So we're not going to tell you like what to buy, what to get into. We don't do that at all. But we just do the charts. Yeah. We teach people how to read charts, how to develop trading methods. We call them algorithms. It's nothing fancy. Building an algo is not fancy, right? Like coding an algo might be a little fancy, but you can pay someone else to do that. You can build the algo, use the algo to develop the funds to pay somebody to code it, and then run the algo, right? But it's not as big of a deal as it sounds. It's not as simple as it sounds either. And it's not a get rich quick. It's something that takes time to learn. But if you dedicate, there's a very high probability of success, right? Nothing's guaranteed. I will tell you, we are as close as it comes, right? Okay. Throw that up there. Let me actually zoom this picture in so everybody can see. All right. Copying and copy und paste, yeah. You will have nothing and you will be happy. Happy. Here we go. 1 second. Good trading. Go ahead and do my little tags here. All right, cool. So yeah, just throwing another post up there. Okay. All right, cool. So let me take a peek at YouTube. Monaco Garza, this is SL. Hey, what's up, bro? SLC Scatter. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, SLC, if you don't know what you're watching, what I can tell you is that what we do is we help people develop. Well, first of all, we help new people who have never traded. We help them learn how to trade, right? And then once they learn how to trade, we help them develop their own trading method. Because a lot of people, like, they want to pay some guru, hey, follow my trading method and you'll be rich. And that very often does not work. And the reason it doesn't work is because when you develop your own trading method, what you're able to do is it is imbued with your own personality, right? And trading is very personality driven. People do not understand the psychological aspect of trading. There are people like myself, being in a trade for more than like a few minutes is freaking like nails on a chalkboard. I will do it, but I don't like it. There's other people who they prefer to just like, hey, I'll throw this in. Maybe it'll, pay off in a couple days. Like they like that. They like the slow nature of it. Easier to manage. Oftentimes has to do with their own schedule. There are others who they like to do really long-term stuff. They like to invest. There are people who, there's a lot more to it than that. It's much more dynamic than those few things I just described. But what I will say is that when you develop your own method and you've tested it yourself, what you're going to have is a level of confidence, right? That level of confidence cannot be matched taking someone else's method. So you could have, Joe Blow, trader Billy Badass, and he can say, hey, use my method. And then you try it and you lose a trade and you lose confidence and you just quit. When you develop your own method and you have your time invested and the probability of success of that method, you have a much higher probability of actually, winning the trade. So that's what we do. Let's take a look over at, okay, so that's Ethereum. And so you already kind of see where I think Ethereum is going to go. Now, in order to head up past this 2,300 mark, that's going to take some power. And market like the Bitcoin market does need to stay pretty stable for that to happen. I do think 2,600 is actually kind of a pretty high probability spot to hit. I don't know if it's going to hit this kind of cycle, if you will, like this next few months. Has a decent chance of happening, but this is going to be basically price hitting an old CME gap, and those are a pretty high probability of being hit. So that's what that's about. So there is a decent chance price will continue up to that area, right? Let's do a quick roundtable. We got Ethereum. Let's look at Bitcoin. Haven't seen that yet. I want to get a general idea of where it's at, and it is. Let's see here. I'm going to look at the algos. Give me a second. Don't let that stuff at the bottom of the screen like scare you. That's just my algo. Not a big deal. Some of it's not even being used. A lot of it's just being tested. So this is this is more than the algo. Bitcoin bullish on high time frame, but it is taking a break, right? It could easily just pop up and keep going. There's no doubt about it. But to look at Bitcoin price action wise, it is developing what either is going to be like a consolidation up in this area. And let's see here. That consolidation may look kind of like this, right? More or less. We'll see about it, right? If it can develop a range, then that's actually rather tradable. If I were to take a trade on this, I would probably consider going short because it's already developed a bit of a range. So I would kind of short these areas up here and I would long those areas down there if I were to play that game. So I know it's long-term bullish and I don't like shorting Bitcoin. So what I may do with Bitcoin is wait for it to go down, right? And then kind of reach the bottom of this range area. Let me redo that. I'm going to have to manipulate this, code this differently. So once it reaches down there, I might be a little bit more comfortable going short. I know I shouldn't. I know it's bad, but I like to short Bitcoin. I do. Most people don't, and it's actually kind of a bad idea, but I win. I usually win when I do. So I may short. I just make sure that I drop my stops. Like I move my stops into profit pretty quickly when I short Bitcoin because Bitcoin is known for punishing the shorts, but I'm known for winning shorts. So I do it. Once you get down to the bottom of this range though, if my algos actually say it's okay, then what I'll probably do is take a long. And that just depends on what's happening with a lot of things, but that long might look something like this, right? So it might look something like that. And that's a nice 3.71 if it works out like that. It's like putting in 100 bucks to make 370 or $1,000 to make 3,700 or whatever your number is, right? And I always try to balance my risk to reward ratio in such a manner. I want the risk to be much smaller than the reward, right? So if I were to go short, show what that looks like. Now I can't do that yet. I don't have the algos lining up for that yet. But if they did, or if I just wanted to take a risk, which is not exactly my style, but I might have a trade that looks like that. I'm not taking this trade, but if I were to go short, it would look like this, right? So make sure you do your own research. Like, don't just take trades because someone else does. That's a bad idea. But that would be a nice trade. So I'd have a stop loss up here above the recent highs, and I would take this down, not all the way to the bottom of the range. I mean, I could do that, but I probably would front run that because things get front ran with Bitcoin in a big way. So, all right, getting to the end of this now, but if you do have chart requests, hop on to YouTube, right? Go to YouTube, Algo Factory. It's pretty easy to find. Actually, if you're watching on X, then on my X post, you'll see some YouTube posts. I think I either posted one recently or I'm about to. I think I posted a short about stop runs like maybe an hour ago. So you can go find YouTube that way. Hop on the YouTube live, ask a question for charting. And if I don't get any chart questions in the next 5 minutes, then I'll probably go ahead and end this, right? But understand that when I'm live on YouTube, the public can ask for charts and I will be happy to do those charts. So, and that, like I said, doesn't have to be crypto. It could be Forex, I like Forex. It could be stocks, ETFs, indexes, you name it. INJ, Cool Cat wants. Okay. So Cool Cat asked for INJ. Okay, let's see here. Now, INJ has been bucking the trend. Like this whole time when a lot of cryptos were not performing, INJ was performing. So, you can see that it actually took the upward route rather than this downward kind of slow route that I charted earlier. So INJ just is killing it. Let's see. With INJ, let's see what the algos actually say. Bullish on the daily kind of, but taking a break. It's pretty bullish. Everything is so high right now that I would be kind of careful with it, but I might look at this from I'd be careful with this, but if I were to think that INJ was going to continue up, I might already be in it maybe, and then I would take targets up here. I'm not saying I'm in this trade. I'm not saying I'm taking this trade, but if I were to design a trade, it would look something like this. Something like that, right? Maybe a stop loss a little bit tighter than that. We'll see. You have to, whatever your stop loss formula is, you got to apply it. I'm just kind of, throwing something up there just to throw it up there, right? So might have a little deeper, but that's a 3-to-1. And let's just say I took profit. Now, to be safe, you could look at a profit level just below the recent high, just to kind of scrape some profit off, which is about a 1-to-1. So basically putting in 100, and if you took all your profit right there, it'd be basically, taking out $100, right? Doubling your money. But if it does pop up past that level, past this recent high sitting at about 43.50, then I would expect price to continue up in FOMO. Not FOMO necessarily, but just, head up pretty hard. And once price hit 47.14 right there, or wherever, like to take profit right there, I probably would put my stop to entry or even into profit and see if I could ride the rest up to get, 52.45-ish, right? So that's, if I were to trade INJ, that is how I would take INJ's trade. So, all right, cool. Well, again, I will give it a minute or two for people to ask for charts. Otherwise, I will bounce. And, if I see another trade, I'll pop on. All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Speak now. No, looks like everybody is good. Of course, there is a delay. Like when I do these broadcasts, there's always like a 7 to 14 second delay. So I'll give it another minute or two. I'll take a look on X and see if like somebody DM'd me for some kind of requests. Don't see any requests. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. Just a nice little Saturday session. I hope you liked it. And we'll catch up to you all later. Whether, if I see like a trade, then I'll pop on. If not, then I will be around possibly next week. It's Christmas, so it might not be that like there's a lot to do. Might not be a lot of trading. Join us or bye. Yeah, you are welcome, SLC. Thanks for coming on. We are definitely, here's the thing about it, and I'll just do the quick commercial. So if you are watching this, if you want to find out more about what we do, zap this QR code, right? We are doing a deal at $49.99 a month for the private group. And we're going to raise that, by the way, because we haven't even marketed yet. Like this whole Twitter push and all that, this is all the new marketing, and there's going to be a lot more marketing, paid marketing, a lot of stuff coming up. And when we get to a certain amount of people in the group, we are going to hike that price up. It's going to go up at least by double and possibly by quadruple. We'll see about it. When we do that, those who are in at $49.99, they get to have that price grandfathered in. And trades like this, you see me do it oftentimes once a day or a few times a week, whatever it is. So for those of you who are doing your research and doing your trades that might look like mine, you actually could end up paying for Algo Factory just by being in Algo Factory. Like that's how that works, so, but again, we don't tell you what trades to get into. We don't do signals. We don't do investment advice. We just do the actual charting and you do your own research. Got it? Perfect. All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot for coming on. Zap the QR code. If you're watching YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we will catch up to you later. Peace.